Wait a minute, you're telling me in this game I have to protect a divine maiden? Finally, I'm no longer maidenless! Welcome to Deep Thoughts While Gaming, I'm Chris Chappell. Capcom's Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess, released on July 19, 2024, and it's reminding everyone, once again, why we love Japan. Kunitsu Gami is a single-player game heavily inspired by the Japanese Shinto tradition. You play as So, a samurai-esque Kagura dancer, who must escort his Shinto priestess friend Yoshiro through a yokai hellscape in order to cleanse some torii gates and excise the demons of Japan's past. This journey will take you through multiple villages and multiple day and night cycles as you prep your friends to defend the priestess during the day to watch them die at night. Then rebuild their houses after the fact to gain access to other classes and upgrade materials. Unnecessary sacrifice. The main selling point of the game is that it really seems to do justice to Japanese mythos, lore, and tradition, while also looking phenomenal. From the enemies to the moveset to level design, everything in the game is worth staring at for a little bit. The developers filled the game with multiple art viewing rooms and historical explanations of themes, artwork, food, and overall culture scattered throughout, so you can really get your nerd on if you want, or browse a series of Japanese desserts. They don't do anything, but it's a nice touch. Capcom even took the extravagant step of partnering with Ningyo Joruri Bunraka Theater to create a full puppet prequel titled Ceremony of the Deity, the Maiden's Deity, that's available for viewing on YouTube, because when you love your culture, why not? It all culminates in an experience as enticing as Japan's traditional bento lunchboxes, which they're always willing to share with their friends, just like their culture, making it hard for many of us in the US to think poorly of the country when our bedrooms are full of their manga, our fridges full of their sushi, and their waifus in our hearts. In this way, we've grown up with Japan kind of feeling like a friend, even if we don't speak the same language. All of us have a feeling of nostalgia for a culture we've never known through Studio Ghibli movies aired on the Cartoon Network of our youth and slightly moist anime conventions we attended as awkward teenagers. All this is a pretty big change from how Americans viewed Japan during World War II. Many Americans died fighting in the bloody Pacific Theater. Imperial Japan certainly committed its fair share of atrocities. And you'd think atomic bombs aren't exactly a forgive and forget kind of thing. But our ability to move beyond past animosity is core to the idea of soft power, a term first coined by American political scientist Joseph Nye that represents the ability to influence others through attraction or persuasion, rather than through force. Japan, regardless of whatever dark past they may have had, is now cool. That's a kind of power you can't buy. A kind of power that Japan's rival, China, wishes it could have. In a world where hard power tends to be a less used and less favorable option, with too many countries having nukes and too many protesters hiding in the sewers looking for their next cause. Forget what Call of Duty would have you believe, modern warfare is fought through soft power. But if loving thy enemy really is the AK-47 of tomorrow, then why is it so hard for other countries to get the same kind of love Japan gets? Sure, China has a 50-cent army spreading Chinese propaganda on comment sections throughout the internet, but apparently that's not enough to make other people love you. Which is strange, because can it be said that Chinese mythology and culture is every bit as interesting as that of Japan in Kunitsu Gami? Surely their artwork can rival Japan's legendary Higassen collection, Higassen. Games like Black Myth Wukong only scratch the surface, as any creative endeavor in China must ultimately deal with a vast array of censors, and a communist party that could choose to target anyone for anything at any time. That makes it hard to make bold creative decisions, especially in a country where Mao Zedong launched a systematic campaign to destroy the traditional culture of China, burning books, destroying buildings, killing intellectuals. So much was lost. It was like the burning of the Library of Alexandria. Because unlike in Kunitsu Gami, where you work to illuminate the world and reveal the beauty of the culture underneath where it once was shrouded in darkness, the Chinese Communist Party actively works to keep the world and its people in the dark, keeping the priestess, who we can understand as a symbol of truth, away from truly dispelling the demons in their land. Whereas the style of Kunitsu Gami is based on and proud of ancient Japanese customs, traditions, art forms, and mythology, China has steadily destroyed much of their original culture by replacing it with communism, removing much of the sense of wonder that should be possible when considering visiting China, and replacing it instead with a sense of unease, when the Winnie the Pooh PJs you accidentally packed could mean the difference between life and death. It's hard to notice that there's a lot of cool mythology there too. And overall, whereas Japan's soft power was beneficial to the world, acting as a boon that made our childhoods that much better and didn't create an aura of animosity, China's soft power just feels aggressive, part of a larger campaign to spread its darkness around the world. Even China's supposed humanitarian efforts, acting as a creditor to some countries desperately in need of financing, is not actually helpful. It's just economic colonialism and debt-trap diplomacy, which ultimately leads to economic, social, structural, and political consequences that we discuss on our other channel, China Uncensored, where we try to do our own form of purification on the prevailing narratives floating around the world. It's not that China can't ever be cool. Much of the Japanese culture we've come to love has its roots in ancient China. China was once the center of culture and prosperity. Ancient Rome, which I think about every day, even found itself in a trade deficit with China over their precious silks. And Kung Fu Panda did a much better job of Chinese soft power than the Chinese Communist Party ever could. So maybe someday, like World War II Japan, the current animosity between the US and China will be forgotten. We'll all be enjoying some delicious cliff tea while practicing our Kung Fu and Qigong while reading Journey to the West. But that's gonna take the collapse of the Chinese Communist Party and a free China. Until then, I'm eating sushi, fighting yokai, and playing Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess, along with all of our friends in China, as the game is also fully voiced in Chinese and playable in the mainland, making it hard for even them to not admit Japan is pretty cool. Thank you for watching Deep Thoughts While Gaming. And remember, if you loved watching anime on Toonami, you're a soft power war casualty. So pay your respects by liking the video and subscribing. And help me make more Deep Thoughts While Gaming by supporting the show on patreon.com/gamersunbeaten. Or hit that join button to become a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive emojis, live streams, videos, a Discord server, and all the sushi you can eat. And if you love Japanese culture, check out this video about Okami, another phenomenal game steeped in Japanese lore and culture.